Welcome back to another episode of Plant-Based Dads. I'm Tim.
I'm Joey.
All right, we survived the trip to IKEA. We're home now to make a few pizzas.
Thank God. Actually, Lex wanted a plant-based hot dog, which they didn't have. Then he wanted plant-based nuggets, which they didn't have downstairs. Upstairs, they did have the plant balls, so we got that. But there was a bunch of stuff downstairs they didn't have that he wanted.
Yeah. But he really wanted the plant meatballs with the gravy.
Yeah, they had this tomato tahini gravy. I thought it was really good.
It worked.
Yeah.
So anyway,
so we're back.
We survived.
Yes.
We survived. So today, we have a kid-approved recipe and an athlete-approved recipe.
Who's the athlete?
It is a high-protein pizza crust. We're going to make the pizza in the end and show you. We'll talk about some of the options you have as we roll with the dough. Mm-hmm. And again, Lex ate these 3 the last week and loved it. So.
Yeah, we usually make pizzas on Sunday for Lex for the week so he can heat stuff up when we're not here. So this is where this comes from. And we thought, we wanted to have a higher protein crust. The problem with pizza is all of the calories are in the crust, right?
It really is.
There's no way to get around it. So what we've decided is that if we're going to take the calories from the crust, we want it to be a high protein crust at least, right?
Yeah. So if we have a goal of certain protein amount that's higher than normal, like 40 to 60 range, how do we accomplish that? And one of the ways is we can't ignore the crust.
Yeah.
So we're using some Vital Wheat gluten, and there's a percentage that we went with that works. And so that's what we're going to share with you today. And then our toppings, we'll get into that and how you can increase the protein as well, being vegan, plant-based. Okay. Should we get started?
Let's get started.
Okay.
Let's get started.
All right, so let me begin by saying that this recipe has several different components to it. And so you can get started right away with the warm water and the yeast going. During that break, get your toppings ready or get ready for the next stage. So you let the times work for you. And the more you make this, the faster it'll easier to become. So.
I think this is why I'm not a baker. You do all the baking, because having to make it and then let it sit and then wait an hour and then come back and go like this and let it sit, I've lost interest. I'm now on to junk food, right? I've just lost interest.
But for those of you who do bake, it is so much fun to see the textural changes with the proteins, all that. So it is a little bit of fun. But that is either for you or not you at all.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right, let's start with we're going to activate the yeast. So we need 2 teaspoons of yeast and 3/4 of a cup of lukewarm water. So Tim's putting the water in the bowl here, and we'll hopefully throw in 2 teaspoons of active yeast.
How do I do that? So I put in some water, and then I maybe from the tea kettle put a little bit of hot water in. And if it's lukewarm from my finger, we're good. You don't want it too hot.
No.
So putting the whole thing in the microwave, I don't know, you just heated up the glass and the water. It's just too much. So this seems to work the best. Anyway, that was my tip.
It needs to be lukewarm, right?
Exactly.
Let's move this out of the way so we can get
All right, we're done with that.
All right, so you got 2 teaspoons of that.
Yes. Now
what is this?
There's a couple different options. So I've got a regular dry yeast. I mainly cook with sourdough, but we have this in the refrigerator just in case. They also make packets of quick rise pizza yeast. Yep. So you do have that option ahead of you. So, but we've got the regular
2 teaspoons.
2 teaspoons.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so the yeast is active in there, but it's kind of dormant. I guess it's not really active.
Exactly.
And then,
it's dormant.
And the warm water kind of gets it going, right?
Gets it going. You'll see. So I haven't stirred it at all.
Right.
But you will see mini bubbles come up, and that is telling of it being active.
All right.
So at this point, we're going to set this aside for about 15 minutes.
Do we stir it or no?
I'm going to stir it right now.
And then we'll just set it aside.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to let our yeast activate and do its thing, and then we'll continue. All right, so the yeast
15
is
minutes. 15 minutes has passed by,
yep.
And we definitely have some yeast going on. Can you see the dome effect on there? Can you smell it?
It smells very yeasty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like we're going to make some yeast rolls, huh? All right, our next part is combining all the dry ingredients in with this. So we're going to be working with Vital Wheat gluten and all-purpose flour.
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to read me some measurements?
Yeah. All right, so we want 175 grams of flour.
Yep. So I just zeroed this out.
Okay.
You said 175?
175.
One thing I can say about our followers is we get a lot of comments. So this would be a great video to add What vegan pizza do you like?
Yeah.
Is it Italiano with some antipasta stuff on it, or
I think we're gonna go.
is it classic, or is it a barbecue?
I would say we'll make our own because we're gonna throw seitan on it. So
Perfect. We'll show how to do that.
So 175, and then we need 7 grams of vital wheat gluten.
Okay.
We're just using the Anthony's vital wheat gluten here. We get it on Amazon. There'll be a link below the video. One day Tim will have a Amazon store set up, but it's not there yet. So now it's just a link below the video. So 7 grams. So we've got our vital wheat gluten, the flour, the active yeast with the warm water, and we're just going to mix this together, right?
Yeah. It's important to use a scale like we just did.
Yeah.
There's certain ratios of protein that need to be in this and that sort of thing. So it's all there in the recipe. I would just follow it, though.
And in the recipe, I'll put in the cups and all that. But just know that people are like, well, you're in the U.S., why don't you use cups? Cups is a measure of volume. It is not a measure of weight. Grams is a measure of weight. That's why. So cups are... Yeah.
Anyway, if you're baking, you already know. You know.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to use my hands on this because we're just making 2 dough balls. Otherwise, I have to have the mixer out here like last week when we did triple, right? So...
this is a good time to thank our Patreons and our PayPal supporters and the people that just leave cash in the comments. Without you, the show couldn't happen. So we appreciate you. There's a link below this video on how you can become a financial supporter and be part of the show. All right, so we're just kind of it is looking like a dough already. So,
I think when I showed you how to make sourdough bread, it was the same thing. You use your hands to get used to like the texture. And then we'll kind of let this set for a while, and you just see how this just transforms.
Yeah.
So
this will make 2 doughs.
I feel like this small of a mixture, everything counts. So I'll try to get what's on my fingers off.
Yeah.
We're gonna let this rest for like 15 minutes.
Just like this?
Yeah, and I'll come back and stir it some more and pull it and stretch those proteins.
So it is kind of rough right now, but that's how you'll leave it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
See you in a few minutes. All right. So what do we do with it at this point?
Okay, so I wanted the protein to moisturize, I guess, and so now we're gonna put it on the counter with some flour and start kneading it, and before we set it aside for an hour to ferment. So in the mixer, it's different. So in the mixer, I just go, I'm kneading it in the mixer, and then we cover it, and we come back in an hour. This way, doing it by hand, is a little different, and that's why I'm doing it. I'm going to add a little bit more flour here. So, okay.
So this is where you're just going to work on the counter right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to knead the dough, until it doesn't really stick anymore.
Okay. So right now it's kind of that tacky kind of texture, right?
Exactly.
All right. It's gotten pretty big. I mean, it's only been, 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Yeah. I mean, it's fluffy, but we want to, because we've added vital wheat gluten, it's gonna be strong. So,
and the flour is just to kind of to take the tackiness off, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I'm just gonna watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get dirty.
It's so different with regular dough than with sourdough.
So you're just is this the kneading it, or what is this part?
Yeah, I'm moving it around to like stretch the fibers, but not breaking it.
Well, it's starting to look like a dough, like a dough consistency. The stickiness is almost gone. It's got some stretch to it. I guess that's the gluten part of it.
Yeah.
It's still a little bit sticky, yeah. I see what you're doing.
Again, if you have the mixer, perfect.
Oh, so this is the mixer would do all this with the little hook thing?
Right, with the dough hook.
Why didn't we use the... Oh, because the mixer's really big and this is not a big recipe, right?
Yeah, we bought that big 6-quart one.
Okay, no, we had a nicer, smaller one, and then the big one went on sale, and you were like, let's get the big one, and now we can't really use it unless we're tripling a recipe, right?
Well...
Because the whole thing is just too big.
Yeah. And I think for the viewer, I wanted to have the glass bowl so you could see the whole process, right? So I feel like this is, workable. Yeah. Things are getting stretched. I've kind of used up all the flour here.
Okay. So now what happens?
So now let's get it in a Nice dough ball.
Another, okay.
Okay, this is one dough ball. We're gonna cut this into two after it rises or ferments a
Wait
little
for
bit,
it to
right?
get a little bigger, yeah.
Exactly. So rather than dirty another dish, we'll just put this over it.
What does the covering do for this?
So it doesn't dry out.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Kind of keeps because there's water in there, so it keeps the moisture right there.
Correct. So instead of using plastic wrap, just reusing your bowl and covering it up. Your counter's already dirty.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, why do that?
Right.
Okay. So this works. So depending, again, on the temperature of the year, where you're located in the U.S., will determine how long this is. But when it doubles in size, you can tell when you're ready to split the two off.
So you should see a lot of growth.
Should see plenty of growth, and we already started seeing that. So
Yeah, we did.
We know that this is active.
Yeah.
So it may be a little less than an hour, but
Okay.
this is a cold stone counter. I'm expecting it to take about that. Once that point hits, we separate it into two different doughs. It can then go in the refrigerator,
Okay.
or you can use it right away. So
Yeah, we're probably going to do both.
but it's good to know that. So when life happens, you can work with what you've got.
Right.
So.
All right.
Sound good?
We'll see you in an hour.
Okay.
All right. So
All
let's
right.
see what we got here.
Well, this took a little bit less than an hour, so it's kind of nice using a glass bowl. You can kind of see where you're at, right?
Oh my gosh, that is much bigger. Look, it's stuck to the bowl. It's so big. So we got some stuff in here too. We probably want to grab out. So yeah, that's at least twice the size.
Again, you just never know how your yeast is going to react to.
Yeah.
You gotta take care of it. So again, I want to repeat. This is the point where you can split your dough and put it in the refrigerator to wait to later in the evening or the next day. It's up to you.
So this is going to be 2 dough balls for us. We're going to make 2 pizzas out of this.
This is correct.
Yeah, so this recipe makes 2.
So I'm going to split this. We're going to make our 2 dough balls and then let it set some more.
Okay.
And then in the meantime, I'll be prepping some toppings.
Okay.
Okay.
Every time we shut the camera off to let it sit or rise, we're wiping down the blinds, the mini blinds, right? They're not mini, they're regular blinds, but the slatted blinds, we're taking a rag and cleaning them all off. So I'm like, well, we got to do something else. Then we got to wash our hands and come back.
Yeah.
So
I mean, one of the reasons for going to IKEA was to
get some new curtains.
look at some stuff, and we found stuff. Right?
Yeah, we found some curtains, but we can't put the curtains up because the blinds are dirty, and I don't want to. So we're cleaning the blinds, so we put the curtains up.
You know, we should talk about that. Like, you know, Christmas with all the decorations, it can get kind of dark. When we took everything down, it was bright.
It's really bright, yeah.
And we wanted to keep that. So
We put up red. We changed the house around. We put up red curtains for Christmas. So
Yeah.
and then we take them back down again in January.
when we were making 6 doughs, I literally put the dough on a scale to measure, so we knew, right?
Yeah.
But I really think in this way we can get right in the middle here.
Okay. We're gonna eat both of them anyway. So it doesn't matter, yeah.
Exactly.
But you do want to, like, if you're making like pizzas for throughout the week, you do want to measure the whole thing and split it in half.
And that worked for us last time.
Yeah.
Because we could tell that one was definitely bigger than the other, and we're like, okay, let's wait. And sometimes we had to cut off a piece, but we incorporated it back in, and during that second rise, it worked just fine. So don't be afraid if you're that.
All right. So do you think they're half?
It would make you feel better if we measured, wouldn't it?
It would. Yeah. Let's throw it on the scale and see what we've got here.
This is what love looks like, by the way, guys. Yeah.
All right. So let's throw one on there and see what we've got.
Okay.
What is that?
$1.99.
$1.99. All right. How close are we? $1.90. That's
$1.90.
good enough. I think that's.
Can
great.
you live with that?
Yeah, I can live with that.
You'll sleep tonight?
Yeah, I'll sleep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll worry about some other things.
Awesome. Okay.
I'm not gonna sleep. I'll be vacuuming the kitchen. But all right, you'll sleep well though.
Okay. I'm just going to tuck the 4 corners in, right? Come in here. Slide this around. I like that. Same thing. Tuck, tuck.
Make a little pillow.
There we go. And then I'm going to come in and shape this.
So all you do is make like a little round ball out of it, right?
Absolutely.
If
That's
you
it.
don't have one of these, you just use your hand, right?
That's it.
All
Yep.
right.
And
All
the
right.
next part, I'll give you 2 options that we'll do. So this will wait about 15 minutes.
All right, so we're going to let this rise a little bit too now, right?
Yeah.
All right, at this point, you could put these in the fridge for a day or two if you needed to, right?
Absolutely. At this point, we're going to make this now.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep this on the counter to rise some more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we need to cover them?
Yep.
Okay, we'll cover them. All right. All right, well, here's one bowl right here. Oh, we're just going to put a rag on it.
Yep.
There you go. All right, so how long are they going to raise?
15 minutes.
15 minutes. See, in
All
15
right.
minutes. Back to the blinds. All right, so what are we doing now?
Oh, welcome back. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes. We've got our dough ball. Looks really nice. It's got a little bounce to it. So this is ready to go. I've got my other one covered up. We're going to get to that later. So what I'm prepping for next is we're going to be cooking. So I'm going to grab our semolina flour here. And people use, if you're using a pan and you're rolling it out, the oil works.
Yeah.
If you're using a peel, I've seen flour work, and cornmeal. I like semolina flour. It's not so gritty, but yet it really allows a separation for this to slide off the peel really nicely. So that's one of the reasons we use this.
So what we're trying to do, if you never made pizza at home, you don't want it to stick to anything. So instead of flouring the bottom, we use this semolina flour, which is kind of gritty, and it kind of just slides all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Because it's got to slide off the peel and back onto the peel. Like it can't stick to the it can't stick to the pizza stone. It can't stick to anything, right? Otherwise, you'll be like scraping your pizza off, and it's a nightmare.
And we put this on here, and then we start loading the toppings.
Yeah.
So
We just make it right on here.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at the point of who am I making a pizza dough for? Now, I like to punch down and go from there and have a nice rim. Joey's like, nope, I want a meal that satisfies me and is big enough. So staying within this caloric restriction that we are and protein, we're going to roll this out. So don't gasp, those of you, but it does rise in the oven, and that's what I want to show you.
Yeah, so
that even though we're doing this, it works.
So what he's saying is, yes, you can punch it like this and have a pizza this big and load it up. And to me, like it has to be like an 8 to 10 inch pizza, or it's not worth it. So I need more than that. So I'm rolling it out. I'm okay with a flat bread pizza. I just need enough space to make it big enough for a meal. All right.
Yeah.
So that's why
our
we're
goal.
rolling mine out. He's not going to roll his out.
Yeah.
So either way, it's up to you.
But it's kind of fun. I did want to show you 2 different ways of doing this, and a lot of us live with other family members, and it's not just about us when we cook. So, but yeah, it's kind of fun. Look at that pillow. I'm erasing it all.
I know my Italian family would be like, "Oh, you rolling out of the dough." Sorry, Grandma. Like, sorry. Actually, Grandpa was the cook in the family, but yeah, Grandma just did the money management.
She's good at that.
It worked out very well, let me tell you. Yep, so it's looking good. Don't be afraid to roll it too thin because it is going to kind of puff up in the oven.
And when we transferred it,
yeah, we've rolled it before, and we thought it was too thin in the oven. The crust just puffed up, and it was great. So the trick is to get it on this pizza peel, and you can roll it right onto the. You roll it onto the rolling pin to roll it over here. However you want to do it. Tim just likes to pick it up and pop it over here.
How does this look? Is this big enough for you?
Let me see. I think we could probably roll it out a little more over here, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
well.
All right. There you go. Thank you. I just want it to be big enough. I want to make sure I have a big enough meal. All right. So I think that's pretty good right there.
All right, we've just cut.
Right.
You can see this is the side we can get that to.
So
even though the recipe's pretty small.
Here's our pizza, right? That's a nice size for one person, right? With all the toppings on and all that. That's going to be a nice sized pizza, all right?
Okay. So we got to be able to slide it off.
Yep,
so
it's sliding. It's doing its thing. All right.
All right.
So
too many cooks in the kitchen. I'm gonna have to have you move aside. Okay.
Wait. Hang on. Don't just start pouring stuff on. Now, I've got a recipe for this, so I can give you exact calories. All right. You do you on this, but I'm trying to keep the calories at around 550 for the entire pizza.
Yep.
All right.
So you have to look at everything.
Yeah.
When you choose a sauce, or if you make your own, they can vary by almost 50 calories, right?
Yeah, like this one, there's a bunch of them at only 25 calories each. Otherwise, you can buy pizza sauces that are 100 calories for a tablespoon. Like, you got to be careful what you get. So for the pizza sauce, we're going to put on each pizza 120 grams. So remember, the recipe will say 240 grams because it makes 2, right? you have to cut that down into for each pizza. So we're going to put 120 grams on. So let's grab the scale, and we'll do a little gram action. All right, so let's put it over here.
It was zeroed out.
Okay, thank you. Oh, you're going to use this? All right. Sorry. And let's do 120 grams. I'll grab this, and you can put it on because you're better at that than I am. Right there. This is flavored, but you can do spices or whatever. And 120 grams is a lot. Like, that's a lot of pizza sauce. All right, 117. All right, that's 119. All right, you want to put that on there?
Yeah, you're happy with this amount?
Yep, I think
because
so.
this is a good amount.
Yeah,
so.
it's a lot of sauce.
Yeah.
We're just going to get it on there and kind of move it around.
All right, next we're going to need the ricotta measured out. If you want to.
So we're using the starch solution ricotta right out of the book, right? We made the ricotta and we figured out that the recipe itself, if you break it down into 10 servings, right? It's like, I don't know, I don't have it in front of me, but like 60 calories a serving or something with like, I don't know, 5 or 6 grams of protein. I have to look it up. I don't have it. But it contributes to the overall protein of the pizza without really a lot of calories. And that's our cheese. And we're just going to glob it like in certain places. So we're going to measure out 1 serving of our ricotta. And I want to show you what we do. When we make something, like I made this whole batch of ricotta, and in my macros online on my chronometer, this makes 10 servings.
Yeah.
So I measured out the whole thing. It was 880 grams. I cut it, divided by 10, 88 grams per serving. So I just put a sticker right on here that says 88 grams per serving. So when I want a serving of this, and I'm going to, use the macros and chronometer, I'm just grabbing 88 grams. That's 50, so a little more.
And this lasts for a couple weeks.
Wow. I wouldn't say a couple weeks. I'd say a week.
I had the last serving.
Yeah.
It was good. So, but if you want to use this on like a pasta dish, it's available. The pizzas. So there's a few different uses for this for sure.
All right, so this is 1 serving, right? And it makes 10. The whole recipe makes 10 servings. There'll be links to all of this below. We're just gonna glob this on in different places. You could like spread it around and all that. I don't need pizza to cover like that. All right, and I'm gonna have other stuff on here anyway.
What kind of pizza are you shooting for here?
Well, a seitan pizza.
Okay.
Yeah, because seitan's loaded with protein, and this has to be a protein-rich meal.
You'll be surprised when we cook these pizzas. It looks wet, all that sauce, but it comes out pretty dry.
It comes out, yeah. It comes out nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So this, you'll be pleasantly surprised how this really adds to the pizza having this moisture. So by sparsing out like this, I think every bite gets
I think so too.
a little bit, right?
Yeah. There you go. All right. So something else we did. The next thing I'm putting on here is my high protein seitan. Now that recipe makes 13 servings. Again, Tim made the whole thing. He weighed it all out. We figured out the grams. We divided by 13. So this time, 1 serving is like 64 grams. But sometimes it's 84 grams. It all depends on how much moisture or water that seitan absorbs, right? If it doesn't absorb as much, it'll be a lower amount of grams.
It just kind of changes.
Yeah, so that's why people say, well, how many grams of seitan do you put in it? Well, it doesn't matter because I made the whole recipe and I'm putting in 1 serving.
Yeah.
I'm just using half a serving on my pizza here because that's all I need for the macros. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm kind of just laying these out. I've already measured this. I know that it's 1 serving, which today it happens to be 66 grams or something. But like last week, it was 82, all right? So it all depends on how much moisture the seitan absorbed while it was cooking. We use the same ingredients each time, but because, maybe it stews a little less time or stews a little more time, that just threw me off because something's going on here that I hadn't measured. Because the moisture is different each time that it absorbs, then, it might be a different weight. So Tim's putting on some tomatoes. Tomatoes don't really have a lot of calories.
Yeah,
but
we have some grape tomatoes in the house.
And we did measure it. We're putting on about 60 grams of tomatoes. Yeah. And that's in the recipe also. So now look how good this looks, right? We've got the tomatoes, we've got the cheese, we've got the seitan on it, right? It's loaded with protein. And then, do we have any fennel seed?
We do. Do you want to put that on now or at the end?
When do you normally do it?
It can go either way. Let's do it now.
Okay, I think I like the taste. I used to like the taste of Italian sausage growing up, and that's all from the fennel seed. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna sprinkle some fennel seeds on here, right? Like, and that's it. All right, and there you go. Is there anything we're missing on here?
No, at the end, we're going to put some fresh basil.
Yes, at the end. All right, so that is everything on my recipe. All right, look how good that looks. That has all of the components of a really good pizza, so it's ready to go in the oven. All right, Tim's going to take it out of the oven with the pizza peel.
So how long was it? Was it quite 8 minutes, maybe?
Maybe 10? It's been about 10 minutes. We'll go over that. Grab that, and I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll talk about the timing and all that. It's right on the pizza peel, no problem. It didn't stick to the stone. Oh, man, it looks good. All right.
Yeah, it's a nice crispy bottom.
Yeah, pop that right there. And then, Tim, you're going to add some basil to this one. Look how good this looks.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Like, this looks fantastic. So it's going to be on this little cooling rack here, just to give it some time to stop the cooking process. And we're adding a little basil. Oh, man. It smells so good, right? So, should we go with the macros now for this pizza? You think you want to do both at the end?
I'm so hungry. Again, IKEA trip.
All right.
Hungry.
I'm going to put this aside. Let's get you started on your pizza, okay? I'm just going to put this back in.
Sounds good. And then we'll hit the macros for both these, I think, or yours.
Okay. All right, so you're going to do something a little different, right?
Yeah. So let's prep this pan with semolina flour, right? So it doesn't stick.
I'm almost pushed out of the picture.
Okay. Semolina flour on the peel.
Again, that's so it slides, right?
That's exactly it.
Right. And now you've got your other pizza dough here, and you're not rolling yours out, are you?
I'm not.
No.
I'm going to do that punch style so that I show you some different options,
All right.
right? So fist into the flour, and then I'm going to smack down in the middle. And see what it's done? It's created a ridge for crust. Again, I'm going after that chew versus Joey wanted size, right?
Yeah.
I wanted, for those macros, is like, I want a pizza.
I want
pizza
a big
like.
pizza, yeah.
That's going to satisfy with the protein, right?
Yeah.
We're going to do the same here, too.
Yeah, I need a surface area. You're doing more of a traditional kind of like with the big puffy sides, right?
When I do this with Lex, this is kind of what we do. So this came out a little bit larger than I thought, so we're doing great here.
Yeah.
All right. I'm making a barbecue pizza. So I sauteed some onions and put a little barbecue sauce in, put some water in it so it sort of marinates and with the Seitan.
Yeah.
So one serving of Seitan is going to be
Seitan.
26 grams of protein. So I added, again, the barbecue sauce, and then I added some sweet onion, and then I added some Chihuahua sauce. I really like the sweet
Chihuahua sauce.
So I really like the combination of sweet and heat, and that's what we got here. So let me grab the pan.
So we're going to show you macros for both pizzas at the end. This will be a higher calorie pizza because barbecue sauce is much higher in calories than tomato sauce. So, but if you have calories to spend, you're good. I'll show you both of them. So you're putting on your combination barbecue sauce, seitan, tomatoes, and onions, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to add some more barbecue sauce?
No, this is delicious. I'm not going to add any more barbecue sauce. Again, that was a combination of water and barbecue sauce. No. What are you doing?
Don't you want to cover these spots over here?
No. So we're not done yet.
Oh,
we're not
sorry.
done yet. So now the second part. When this cooks, it kind of dries out a little bit.
Okay.
So let's add that tofu ricotta, and you're going to notice it's going to be moist and it's delicious.
All right. Did you already portion yours out?
Yes.
It's right here. Yeah. All right.
So just like we did on Joey's Pizza, this is what I feel like makes the bite.
The ricotta cheese is so good on pizza, right? Like, I grew up with gobs of ricotta cheese on pizza, and then when we were making pizza, vegan pizza, right? I was like, well, I don't like any of like the fake shredded, or I shouldn't say fake, but I don't like any of like the shredded vegan cheeses. They don't melt, right? But I love the ricotta. I was like,
But it's made out of oil, so then you're like, what? It's not worth it then.
Yeah. So I was like, well, let's just use the starch solution ricotta. It's already like a recipe we use, right?
Yeah.
And it's loaded with protein, so why not?
Again, you can control the amount of garlic you want on that as well. So anyway, when I made this last week with this ricotta, it was just nice to have a little bit of this flavor, moisture in every bite.
And then you get those packets of cheese that you bite into, right?
Yep.
The ricotta, and it's like, ooh, like what a surprise, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so you got
just
this
like
on
you.
here.
I love fennel on pizza,
Okay.
so we're just gonna.
I don't know that I put fennel on a barbecue pizza, but okay. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, when I did this last weekend, delicious, guys. So the side noise you're hearing, that's what it is.
Sorry,
it's noise.
I
Okay?
tend to talk over you a lot. Well, hang on. You know what we didn't show? You could put, I don't know why we have this, but it's probably expired, but we have vegan pepperoni. You could throw this stuff on there. Look at that list of ingredients. You could throw this stuff on there. We're not using it, but there it is. All right.
Yeah.
So is this all that you're putting on here?
This is enough. This is flavorful.
All right. So into the oven, another 8 to 10 minutes. That's about what we start looking around 8 minutes. By 10, it should be ready. If not, just let it keep going. But you don't want it to burn.
Yep.
All right. We'll see in a bit. Oh, man. That looks pretty good.
Just took this out. It's awesome.
All right.
So, like you, I've got some fresh basil here. I'm just going to spread that around.
Looking pretty good.
Awesome.
All right. All right. So, 2 really nice pizzas, right?
Surprise.
All right. Do you want to... Let's take a bite of each one. This one's going to be pretty hot, right?
Pretty hot. But you want to start cutting yours and I'll cut them.
Let's cut these open and see what they taste like. Listen to that. You can hear it crunch through the crust, right? Like, this is not a wimpy pizza.
But it looks like it's still got some chew to it, you know?
Looks pretty good. I think I'm going to cut it into 4s. Go ahead.
Perfect.
All right.
Ooh.
You can hear that crust. So, you do have a traditional style Italian pizzeria crust, right? For sure, because you didn't roll it out. You just did the punch. I just feel like I wanted something larger, but if you don't feel like you need it to be larger, then what you have is really good there. All right, so let's give this a taste here and see what we've got. Oh, man. It's held up really nicely. Oh, man. It's a mouthful. Mmm. Oh. How's yours?
Good. You saw both the crusts hold up.
Oh, man. This is absolutely delicious. Let me take a bite of yours.
So it's satisfying, right? That's the main thing for your calories. Like,
yeah. Mm.
Okay, that was like a dinosaur bite.
Oh, wow. That's really good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is so good. I love a good pizza. And on a diet, I love it even more.
This is a nice crust.
Yeah. So good. No. I was changing the battery in the camera and somehow my pizza got eaten. This is absolutely delicious. So good. This is good, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
For diet food, that doesn't compare to anything. So,
And this is a lot of pizza, right?
It is.
It's a big meal. All right. I'm going to finish chewing this and let's go over the macros, all right?
sounds good. Hit us, Joey. What do we got?
Okay, let's go over my pizza first. And first of all, let's go over the crust.
I appreciate that you did these numbers. Thank you so
Well, I
much.
want everyone to know them, and they'll be on the website. The crust alone, most of the calories come from the crust because there's just no way around this, right? You could do like a pita pizza, right? But that's this big. And I want a pizza, right?
We saw some aquafaba pizzas.
Oh
being
my
done,
God, cloud pizzas or whatever. That's so stupid, right? Yeah, no.
I think that's our first impression. So
Yeah.
we're just like, let's work with what we have.
Yeah.
I think we love the sourdough pizza crust.
Yeah, we do.
But for the calories, the protein, this gives us what we need.
Yeah, and this does not look like a diet food, right? Like, that's a slice of pizza, right? So it had to be really pizza for me. So let's go with the crust. The crust alone is 346 calories, all right? And so that's a lot of calories for the meal, right?
The whole thing or each pizza?
That's for each pizza.
Okay.
Right? So, yeah, otherwise it's twice that for the whole recipe.
Okay.
Hopefully you're not making one pizza out of the whole recipe. That's like, that's not on our food plan, right?
So, but you know, when we told you we made the triple recipe last weekend,
Yeah.
Alexa's warmed up in the air fryer these pizzas throughout the week.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so each one of these crusts is 346 calories, 346.8, so 347.
Yeah.
They're each like 0 grams of fat. There's no fat in it. They're about 67 carbs each, and each crust has 16 grams of protein. That's amazing for bread, don't you think?
Yep.
So pizza crust, 16 grams of protein. My pizza, the way I showed it, right, with the half of serving of seitan, with the whole serving of the tofu ricotta, with the crust, with the tomato sauce, with the tomatoes, the fennel seed, mine came out to 557 calories for the entire pizza. This isn't where you have to take a slice and that's like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing that, right? Like if I cook a pizza, I'm eating the whole thing, right? 557 calories, 4.7 grams of fat, all of that coming from the tofu, 40.3 grams of protein. So over 40 grams of protein in my pizza, right? That's amazing, right?
Yep.
And 87 carbs, right? That's how mine came out. Now, I used a half of my serving of seitan, right?
Just to keep the calories down.
Just to
right?
keep the calories down, right? I already had enough protein, right?
Okay.
A full serving of my seitan would have given me like 57 grams of protein, but about another 80 calories. All right, let's look at Tim's pizza. Now, Tim, with your pizza, if you did a half a serving of the seitan like I did, your pizza would have come out to 711 calories. All right?
I wanted more.
I know. With about the same protein, about 40 grams of protein, right? 4.5 grams of fat, again, because we're doing the same crust, and carbohydrates. Your carbohydrates are a little higher because you've got onion on there, you've got some other things on there too, the barbecue sauce and all that. So your carbohydrates are about 128, right? With a full serving of seitan, which is what you did, right? Then you're at 783 calories for the entire, and again, these are for the entire pizzas, about 52 grams of protein. That's a lot of protein. So you may be like, well, 708 calories, but that's like half your protein for the day, right?
So when I'm having a meal like this big, and it's at Friday night with us all together, that's what I'm going to look at my Apple Watch and see, how am I in a caloric deficit still?
Well, and even if you're not, right? If you run to Little Caesars and get a bunch of pizza, right? You're not getting 50 grams of protein, you're getting like 1,500 calories, right? At least this way, you're getting 700 calories, right? 780 calories, you're getting 50 grams of protein, right? So, and then you've got about 130 carbs, and I don't know if I did the fat, 4.9, almost 5 grams of fat. So, some good options for sure. If you make it the way I showed you how to make mine, you're at 557 calories for the whole pizza, right? And if you're not worried about a deficit, then throw on some other stuff. That's our video for today. We've got 2 really good options for high-protein pizza. What a way to start off 2025 with pizza, right? Click the like button, show us some love. Click on the subscribe button, click on that bell. You get notified every time we have a video, usually every Tuesday, and hopefully this one will be up by Tuesday. Leave a comment below. Do you still doing pizza? Do you want to do pizza? Are you going to do pizza now? Let me know. We love to talk pizza, right?
All right.
I'll see you next time.
Take care.
Bye-bye.